Howdy, and welcome back to Celebrating Vintage Model Kits. I'm going to be restoring a couple of previously built Aurora 1950s F9F Panthers. One is still somewhat intact, although it has a split in half fuselage. Landing gear pieces and canopy have come off. Still has most of its markings, a little tattered, but still there. Just have the rockets. They're still on the bottom. And then this one here is completely disassembled and appear to be of a similar era. They both have that kind of metallic-y blue plastic that's being used. But this one has split apart. You can see where the glue held more than the plastic right here, and also on the tail right here. And this one only has, unfortunately, one drop tank left. The canopy has seen some better days, although this looks like paint, like it might be tape as opposed to glue. So that might come off. That's just tape residue. To give it a try. And here's the wing panels from that one. You can see the stars, even though this is one of those kits where the markings were molded into the plastic. The person's got the stars backwards on, I think that's the underside. Yeah, they're probably the underside of the wing. And they also put an upside down star on this side of the fuselage, so I guess those molded on markings didn't do so well. Got what's left of the rockets. I think all four for each side are there. We do have one gear and part of the nose wheel, and the doors, pieces of the doors are here broken up. So I'm going to restore this one. This one seems to be the most complete. Compare some of the parts. If the part's better on this one, I'll swap it over. But I'm going to do some cleanup on this and then see what I can do to kind of bring this back to life. Maybe add some more paint to it. Give it a little bit more pizzazz. But this is what we're starting with. Okay, so got the fuselage glued back together. Put a ½ ounce of weight in the nose. I think that's enough to keep it on its nose. It's about the balance point from the landing gear. So that seems to be okay for that. Also trimmed some of the yellowing off of the decals a bit, as best I could. This looks like glue. Tried to see if I could polish that out, and so that's glue's ruined the plastic there. And same thing here, is a nice fingerprint on there. So next thing I'm going to be doing is I also cleaned up the landing gear a little bit. So I'm going to repaint this, put some green on the inside of the gear doors. Same thing with the main gear. Paint this up a little bit. Fortunately, there's a giant ejector pin mark on that side. Same thing on this one. Not much I can do about that. Cleaned up the canopy a little bit, used a little bit of paint thinner, got rid of some of the over paint on here. So got that going, and probably also going to paint silver on the leading edge around the intake, tip of the tanks, also the leading edge of the tail. Should have silver. I'm going to paint up the pilot a little bit. I think I'm going to trim this off here since there's no needle for the nose probe. I think I might kind of smooth that out a little bit if I can. But we're coming along. So, landing gear next. Okay, so we're now at the final stage of assembly. We've got our landing gear cleaned up, repainted, put some green on the inside doors. We've got, again, these cleaned up as best we could, repainted, green. Got the canopy redone. A little better than what was on there before. Then we've got the silver across the front of the wings, tail, and then also painted black in the wheel wells, and then painted the rockets. Those were real fun. Tried to see if I could pop off the rockets to make it easier to paint them, but unfortunately they're pretty well glued down. So I painted them in place as best I can. So we got those. So I think we're going to get kind of a neat cleaned up Panther here. So we'll get these last bits on here and we'll see how it comes out. All right, so there you have it. We got the canopy on, repainted the framing. Got the gear on. And turns out this thing's a bit of a tail dragger anyway. So putting in the weight was kind of useless. You can see how tall that nose gear is. So it ends up sitting on its tail anyway. So if you're going to be making this kit, I would definitely recommend that you shorten this front gear or lengthen the main gear somewhat. So, cleaned it up a little bit, did some dry brushing on the tail numbers, kind of have them stand out a little bit. So, there you have it. And so this is kind of a bit of a restoration of the Aurora F9F Panther. Well, that's it for today. If you built one of these, definitely tell us about it in the comment section. And if you've got one on your shelf that you built, send in some pictures so we can include it on the next viewer build video. Well, thanks for watching, and have yourself a great rest of your day.